Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Hello again, welcome to programme 17 of our 28 daily shows coming to you direct from Radisson Blu Hotel here in the heart of Edinburgh. I'm Stuart Cameron. In today's show, my star guest is the German comedian and former model Mario Adrion. Ben Francis is here from the Australian band 64, and we'll be talking to members of the cast and crew of shows like Echoes of Self, Brace for Impact, Two Guys, Three Drams, and look at concerts of the future. And as if that wasn't enough, my daily walk on the Royal Mile will be on the programme as well, meeting up with random actors, writers and producers as I harness my inner Martin Brundle, not knowing who I'm going to bump into. But first, some music from Fringe favourite Dean Friedman, who breezed in and breezed out again for a couple of dates and left behind some great memories for those who attended. Here's one of his terrific songs.
Lydia keeps my toothbrush in her apartment, and she never complains. Well, hardly ever. And then jokingly she says, boy, it's been so long since I've held you. I nearly gave you up for dead. I nearly gave you up for dead. I nearly gave you up for dead. Understand, I can offer you nothing at all. This is more than I had planned. Lydia, I am at your command, at least until morning comes, and I must be off again. I must be off again. Talk about conscious decisions, about running my own life. But maybe I'm fooling myself. It's a role I like to play. 'Cause more often than not I'm down here on the corner. I'm sorry I woke you. Do you feel like some company? Babe, I need a place to stay. Be off again. I must be off again. Much is true. But Lydia, if you only knew just how much I love you. Did you know that I love you? It's the best that I can do.
Dean Friedman and Lydia. Well, this really is the world's biggest arts festival, and the world has come to Edinburgh to take part in the festival Fringe. Poet and storyteller Isaura has come from the Caribbean idyll of Puerto Rico to the slightly cooler climes of Edinburgh to bring us Echoes of Self, a somewhat more challenging piece of work than much of the Fringe frivolity. Simon Walton found out more as they met up for a Fringe radio chat.
I'm with someone who's just arrived in the country, Isaura from Puerto Rico. Isaura, welcome to the Fringe. Is this your first time here in Edinburgh?
This isn't my first time in Edinburgh, but it's my first time bringing a show to Edinburgh.
So how much of a difference is it actually performing here as opposed to just being here?
It's way different, especially, wanting to get butts and seats, so that's always a challenge, but I'm up for it, and I'm excited to just see the connections I make while I'm here.
Well, your show is called Echoes of Self, a one-woman storytelling performance. If it doesn't give away the plot of that storytelling performance, tell me what we can expect when we come along to Echoes of Self.
Well, when you come inside, you're meted with some Puerto Rican candy that's on the seats, and this actually triggers...
Oh, sorry, I'm there already.
Yeah, it triggers the first poem. It's a memory of my childhood, and everyone in the audience will get to go with me through the cycle of life, basically. We live different versions of our life, and sometimes we want to forget about them, but they actually help us in our present day, and that's what the show is all about. For confronting our past and moving forward with the knowledge that we've learned from those experiences.
We all have different ways of dealing with our past and dealing with our life experiences.
Oh, yeah.
You've chosen to do that through the medium of poetry.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I love writing about. When I write, I'm very descriptive in my writing. I like to actually create the ambiance that's there. So when you're in my show, you actually not only hear my words describing things, but you actually hear music that brings you into that whole full environment as well.
Are there any other performers with you on stage? I know it's a one-woman show.
No, it's just me. I actually do have an altar that I created with my family, so there is a picture on the stage that has my mother, my grandmother, my aunt, and myself in it, and I'm the only person still alive in that photo. So it's about grief as well, so it's confronting that as well and kind of overcoming those situations in life.
You're making it sound it's quite a challenging performance to see. Is that the case?
Yeah, it is. You do see me go through a lot of ups and downs, but at the end, we all breathe together and step back into reality, into this present moment, knowing that our choices that we make are what we can do to kind of move forward into our life and kind of live today for the challenge that it is, but for the joy that it is as well.
There's no denying that a lot of the Fringe here in Edinburgh is quite light-hearted, it's quite comedic. Mm-hmm. Even the drama is that, but you're suggesting that we just take a step back from that and do something a little bit different and a little bit more involved.
Yeah, I think sometimes we need to have each other confront the grief together. There's a lot of things that we kind of hide underneath the rug and we don't want to confront, and this is the time that we should. We need to know that we all experience these times of grief and that we should support each other. That's a part of being human.
Now you're on at Greenside Riddles Court, that's venue 16, at 6:30 in the evening until the 29th of August, so you're on for pretty much the rest of the festival. A lot of the festival is fairly light-hearted.
Yeah.
This is a fairly challenging performance. Perhaps draw people out of their homes to come and see a performance at the Fringe, which is just a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit challenging, but I'm up for the challenge, and I think that people want something a little bit different as well. It's nice to have lighthearted things, but it's also fun to confront our inner demons and see what that is, but do it together as a group and do it in a safe place, and I provide a safe place for people to do that. And I also encourage people to kind of let that go before they step back out into the real world again.
Isaura, you said that you'd been to Edinburgh before as a visitor, but this is the first time that you've performed on the Fringe. It is an international arts festival, the biggest in the world.
Yeah.
Just how important is it, how well known is it in your home of Puerto Rico that you thought this is the place to come?
Well, my family's from Puerto Rico, and I've been in the theater realm for a very long time, so I've always known about Fringe, and I think that everyone needs to come out and experience it, and I think that me coming out here and sharing my culture and sharing my experience will allow more people to come and experience it as well.
Well, Isaura, I'm sure that many people are going to come and share that experience with you, and thank you for taking the time to speak with us on Fringe Radio.
Thank you for having me. This has been really exciting.
And Echoes of Self is taking place in the Pickle Studio at Greenside at Riddles Court, Venue 16 at 6:30pm until August the 29th. Next up, the first part of my walk on the Royal Mile from earlier today.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5pm at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Two sisters, one man. A history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat, and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, three lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're broadcasting from the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh City Centre, surrounded by the buzz of the Royal Mile, where you can recharge, refuel and jump straight back into the festive fun. With the space on the Mile based here, 7 theatres are filled with performances from morning until night, every day of the Fringe. If you want to be at the centre of the action, this is the right place.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum, Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, the Manchester Review saves the world. Support act for Taskmaster's Stevie Martin. And it's at 3:10pm every day until the 30th of August. It's at the Subway, Just the Tonic, Cowgate. Let's talk to these girls. Yes. Tell us about it.
Well, our show is a sketch comedy show. We are in reaction to Dionysus, the Greek god of theatre, saying that he's going to blow up the world because theatre is awful, and we are going to tell him that our theatre is brilliant. So if Dionysus thinks it's brilliant, then everyone else should think it's brilliant and should also come along.
It's all the things we love about the world. It's why it shouldn't end. Yes, everything we love, everything we find funny, all different types of people and situations, and just everything funny, really.
Tell us about the Manchester Review, which is obviously you.
Yeah, that's us.
But that's not a Manchester accent, is it?
It's not a Manchester accent, so it's a student society at the University of Manchester. We are 7 years old, so a lot younger than a lot of the other student comedy societies, such as the Footlights and the Durham Review, but We're just as brilliant, guys. Come along and support us.
And you seem to dance every time you're talking, which is interesting.
I'm quite enjoying this. I've got quite a lot of energy, and I'm kind of So if you want to see me, I do dance on stage. So if you want to come see all of us dance, actually, you should come along.
We're a very dancey group. We've got a few musical sketches, a few dancey sketches. So if you like that kind of thing, we've got all of that. We've got wordplay sketches. We've got very physical comedy sketches. We've got musical sketches. Bit of everything for everyone, really. Yeah.
And it's exciting, isn't it? All the way to the 30th. Have you got a day off at all?
No, no, we don't.
Straight through.
Yeah, straight through. Yeah.
And your first Fringe, or?
It's my first Fringe. Yeah, it's your first Fringe as well.
So it is. Yes, is the answer. There.
Yeah.
Marvellous. And how are you enjoying it so far?
It's really fun.
I'm really enjoying it. Yeah. It's really
fun. is good, like therapy. I think it's good rejection therapy.
Well, I can see you're enjoying it. You're dancing your way up the Royal Bow, which is what we're going to be doing now. Best of luck with it. The Manchester Review saves the world. It's 3:10 every day until the 30th of August, starting 20th, and it's at the Subway, Just the Tonic in Cowgate. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Keep dancing.
I will.
On to yet another new production, a comic success, says the Mancunian. It's Muffins, and I've got the director here, who is Liv, who's looking nervous. I don't think she's been on the radio before.
No, I haven't. No, first time.
First time for everything. Well, relax, everything will be fine. Tell me about Muffins.
Okay, so Muffins is a very silly and absurd office comedy. It's set in an office where this lady puts her half-eaten muffins in a bin, and someone goes into the bin and starts eating them. And they all have these post-it notes saying, "I know your secret" within them. And it basically just reveals this massive, like, intricate scheme of webs and sort of like secrets and plotting that has been happening within the office, and it's very silly, very absurd, and just a bit of a laugh.
And it's at the Paradise in the Vault, venue 29. They will find you, and it's on at 2:20 until the 22nd of August. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Wasn't too bad on the radio, was it?
No, it was fine.
Nice to see you.
Nice, thank you so much.
Take care. The next show we're going to be promoting is a pop story called Girls with a Z, and the writer is here. Well, your name, please.
Hello, my name's Daff Hughes, or David Hughes, so I'm a Welshman, and I wrote the book, the music, and the lyrics.
Oh my goodness me, and it's been on since the 5th, so how's it been going?
It's been going really well. We were here last year, actually, a smaller version. We were at Greenside last year, and we did really well. We got a nomination for Best Musical from Musical Theatre Review, so we decided to bring it back. Gilded Balloon offered us a lovely venue, which is Doonstairs in Patter House, so it's a 160-seater theatre, really lovely comfy seats, that's really important. And so we've just upscaled everything. It's a bigger show, we have to recreate, so it's about the formation of a girl band. You see them auditioning, you see their live shows, so we have to recreate it like a big stadium atmosphere, but also it's about the story behind the scenes. So there's a big story of twisting, turning plot about the characters. So there's the 5 girls in the show, then there are 2 male characters, the manager of the band, who's kind of the sort of baddie of the piece, if you like, and then the boyfriend of one of the girls, who's a very different kind of musician. So I try and explore the different nature of the music industry, from the really sort of commercial, successful side, if you like, where lots of money is, with a pop girl band, and then this musician who's struggling, trying to, write indie songs, run his own little record label, so there's that element as well.
Now, interesting, you say that the manager is the baddie. I've never met a good manager yet, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah, it's sort of he has sort of 2 sides to his character. I won't give sort of too much away, but yeah. So he obviously has a very different sort of view of the music industry from the boyfriend of one of the girls' members, who's sort of struggling, trying to run his own club, run his own little record label. So a lot of the music is obviously the songs that you actually hear themselves. So we hear the type of songs that the boyfriend is writing, which are very different. They're more indie, kind of folky, acoustic songs. And then we hear 4 of the girls' songs that we hear one in the recording studio. So we hear them recording their first single. They obviously get very, very successful very, very quickly. So the idea is it's kind of like the Spice Girls. It kind of goes crazy, and there's this kind of girls' mania that we explore. But then, as you'd expect, things don't go quite as well as you might expect. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so much drama, would it?
Absolutely. And you must be delighted with these 5-star reviews. This show is a fantastic piece of work, a gripping piece of serious drama, and the whole show oozes that girl group vibe. I mean, these are great reviews.
Yeah, we're really excited. Those are from last year, and we've got some even better ones that we've just stuck on the flyer there this year. So it does really feel as if it's kind of building momentum from last last year. There's a lot of talk from critics about the next 6, and it's a lot of nonsense talk. If I'm honest, I think critics are more obsessed with finding the next 6 than writers are about writing it. The only link between this and 6 is that it's based on a girl band. It's so different. So some people have come expecting it to be like 6, but it's not at all. It's a big story. It's exploring behind the scenes stuff. If I'm honest, I wrote the story before I even knew 6 existed, and then I wrote something else and then came back to this. So don't come along expecting it to be like 6. There are some bits where you see the band perform live, and some of the songs are quite comic and quite funny, but it's very, very different. It exists in a completely different universe. So critics stop going on about it not being the next 6. Of course it's not. I never intended it to be.
Absolutely. And I mean, you don't want to be the second 6. You want to be the first girls.
The world needs to move on from 6. It's absolutely great. It's a great piece of theatre. But there's so much more, and so yeah, it's a very different piece. I love 6. It's great. It's very, very funny, but it's more a traditional musical with big highs and big lows, different kinds of musical styles, big twisty turny plot. I hope there are some surprises and some shocks on the way. So along the journey, I've also had to condense it into 65 minutes, which is really difficult because the full-length version of the show is 100 minutes. But obviously the rules of the Fringe, everything needs to be kind of short, and so I've got it down to 65 minutes, and so everything does happen very, very quickly. So if you come and see it, just be aware that a lot of people say, I wanted more of that, I wanted more of this, and I say, yeah, so did I, but I've got to do it in 65 minutes. So hopefully one day we'll get a chance to put the full version on. That's the plan.
And it's interesting you mentioned about the comfy seats and everything, because venue is really important.
Yeah.
We've actually seen a couple of shows which have had the full hour and a half, and again it's down to ticking boxes and whether the venue can cater for a big turnaround, a quick turnaround, things like that.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, last year we had a 7-minute turnaround at Greenside. This year we've got 25 minutes, which seems a luxury, but because the show is bigger, it's got more tech. We've got big video projections that we didn't have last year, so there's more tech to get in. We've got 7 radio mics. We only had 3 last year. So yeah, it's a kind of roller coaster ride to get everybody in. Yeah, trying to fit everything in is really, really tough. But those are the rules of the Fringe, really. And I think as long as the audience are aware of that what they're seeing is a shortened version. So there will be times where you think, I want to know more about that character. I want to explore that, and you didn't really explore that very well. And I go, I know, I'm doing my best in the time that we've got. But yeah, I hope it still holds together even over 65 minutes. Although there's a lot going on. It's very, very fast. It's very fast paced, and there are big highs and lows. So
packed with music, of course. Can people listen to the music on Spotify and Apple Music, or is that something for the future?
That's something for the future. I hope. We've had plenty of people ask me, where can I hear this? Where can I download it? But no, it's just on my computer at the moment. That's where you can hear it. Or you can come and see the show, obviously, and hear it there.
Well, let's remind people where it is at Doon Stairs at the Patter House, and it's on till the 30th of August at 2:25. And delighted to talk to you.
Oh, thanks very much. Really appreciate it.
Here is yet another new play, Cogito Ergo Something. Interesting title. God is dead and so is Henry. It's a new dark comedy. It's at the Bedlam Theatre, venue 49, and it's on at 12:30. Now, we come down to the Royal Mile at 11 o'clock every day. It's now 10 to 12 during this recording. We're only 40 minutes away, Oliver, from the big opening night.
Oh my God, it's going to be great.
No pressure.
No pressure, really. I'm keeping it relaxed, I think.
You're tied up at the moment, aren't you?
I am a bit tied up, in leafleting and quite literally a bit tied up.
Ruben's joined us, another member of the cast. We're surrounded by members of the cast. Now, tell us quickly about this.
How to get away with a perfect murder, which happens very early on. But our silly philosophy murderers have double booked themselves on the same day as a dinner party with lots of silly little guests.
Ruben contributes to this discussion here. Are you nervous? Because we're, just a few minutes away?
Oh, God, don't say that. No, it'll be fine. I think it'll be all right. Yeah, it'll be chill. We've had loads of practice.
So it's not your first Fringe?
No, I performed last year at the same venue with a different show. But So yeah, I'm used to it. We're all very seasoned. I wouldn't say professionals, but you know.
Tell us about Bedlam Theatre.
Right. Well, it used to be a church actually, and then it got converted by the University of Edinburgh Theatre Company, converted in like the 80s, and then ever since then it's been like a great fringe venue. We have shows on all the time.
So this is almost like a home fixture for you.
Yes, yeah. So we're all just doing it with the theatre company, with the University Theatre Company. But it's a great time, yeah.
Well, I better let you go because 12:30 you'll be on,
Yep.
and you're on till the 23rd. So and then you're off on the 24th, and then it's all the way through to the 30th. All the very best with it.
Thank you very
so
much.
much. Thank you.
Next up then, Elba, an original work, and Ashan has written this one. Ashan is here right now.
Hello there.
Tell us about it.
So Elba is about an island community that gets gentrified by Napoleon Bonaparte. It's a political satire about Napoleon Bonaparte's first exile to the Isle of Elba in 1814. We draw on lots of modern themes and we kind of compare him to modern leaders, this big megalomaniac character.
Who's right behind you at the
Who
moment.
is right behind me. This is my good friend Constant Vigier, who plays Napoleon Bonaparte. He is actually French, so culturally we're all good.
We actually met him on the first day that we did this.
Yes.
It's nice to return to it.
Absolutely.
How's it all been going?
It's been going very well. I mean, we've been out here every day on the Royal Mile. We try and fly a couple of hours every day, and slowly we've been increasing our numbers. We've had lots of good reviews, 4 stars across the board, all of our reviews. We had a nice feature in the Scotsman yesterday about what Napoleon can teach us about our modern leaders. So yeah, we're having a wonderful fringe. Yeah, absolutely.
So what inspired you to write this?
So I came across, I've always been interested in those small gaps in history which people don't tell, and I always found this 9 months he was on Elba, he basically was just gardening the whole time, and I just thought that was quite funny. And then when I met Constant Vigier a couple of years ago, who I'm sure he won't mind me saying is a shorter French gentleman, the seeds were starting to be planted.
So ready-made actor waiting
Yes,
to step
I just
in.
saw this Napoleon and I just thought it's got to be.
Was he wearing the hat at the time?
He wasn't. No, that has been a recent addition. But he was ready-made, and I just wanted to make this for him, really. And it's been a real pleasure. Yeah.
Fantastic, and you're really sort of immersing yourself along the Royal Mile, as you say, putting in a couple of hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have to put in the work, don't you?
You do. You absolutely. I mean, we're a small show. We haven't got a big budget behind us. I'm funding a lot of it myself. But you've got to start from the ground up, haven't you? And this is where it begins. And you hear the stories of the success at the Fringe, and you have to graft for it. And that's what we're here, dying for our art.
Well, you are a grafter, sir, and it's on till the 30th of August. It's 4:30 every day.
Yes.
Just the sub-atomic room, and
Yes.
that's the Pleasance.
Yeah, just beyond Pleasance Courtyard. Yeah, just up from Pleasance Courtyard.
And if you want more details of the venue, it's venue 393. Thank you very much indeed, Ashan.
Thank you very much.
More from my walk along the Royal Mile in the next hour. But next up, Sam Matthews will be speaking to Philippe from the very interesting Two Guys, Three Drams production, which contains an interesting cocktail of blues music and whiskey. And let's face it, anything involving alcohol is right up Sam's street.
Well, Felipe, I don't want to say most people have mastered a Fringe show, but 55 minutes there, you gave me 3 drams of whiskey and you sang amazing blues covers for me for the best part of almost an hour. I think that pretty much sums up what you can get at the Fringe.
For us, it's literally what's our ideal night out. Good music, good whiskey, and just having fun. So let's turn that into a theater show and have fun with it. This is our 5th year doing it, and sold out first night. So other people seem to think it works too. We're not complaining, and it helps that the whiskeys are very tasty as well.
You can tell the whiskey's very tasty, but also that you've got a good backing from the whiskey suppliers as well. I just saw you talking there to the Glen Murray team. How helpful have these guys been in also giving you what you need, but also making it a feasible act? Fringe shows don't come cheap. Being able to supply everybody 3 drams of whiskey a night, that's no easy task.
We believe that, so I do a lot of work in the whiskey industry, so I've got some contacts there, and so we're serving only whiskeys that we think are awesome. So we reach out to a bunch of different people in the industry that know us and understand what we want to do with what they have. And with that, it works for them because it's an opportunity to showcase their whiskey in a way that they don't normally showcase it. And it also means that we can give people something that is a really, as you see rising costs at the Fringe, things get more and more expensive. Here you get a good bang for your buck because you get this kind of combination whiskey tasting and music show. And frankly, for some of the whiskeys we're serving, the price per dram can be even pretty pricey if you try it at a bar, but here you can get it with as a part of your ticket, right? So we definitely are keeping that in mind as we develop what we do.
I was about to say, I think you've got the most efficient bar in the city at the moment. You 3 drams of whiskey, all served, probably the best part of 60 people all at once at least, and they were flawless with execution as well. Nobody missed a beat. Songs went fluidly. How tough is that to organise something and get you have great friends that help you with that behind the scenes stuff, but getting those people to take part, how much is it to get that organised to run smoothly?
I've been doing the Fringe since 2011 every year, and so every single show you've done over the years, I've done a lot of music shows over the years, you pretty much require military precision to get everything set up. So when we're doing this, we knew what we wanted to do. As the bar team here with us, some of them have worked with me for quite a long time, so they understand how to get things arranged in such a way that you can set up real fast and get things going the way you need to. So it just means that everything is precise. And yeah, we were able to set up and serve. We've got 130 people. We're serving tonight we served almost 400 whiskeys, managed to do a sound check, get all that prepped in 15 minutes. And we're proud that we can do it. And that's part of the Fringe, part of the Fringe.
That was almost as impressive as the strip down when you told you had slightly overrun, but I think they were harsh on you because you were a bit late in getting to your seat. So
yeah, we got in late. First show always overruns a little bit. We weren't too bad, but yeah, we came in late, but we also added to the overrun a little bit there. But now that always happens on the first show, so now we can kind of calibrate a bit to make sure we run to time. But at the very least, we could offer our first crowd a good bang for their buck, right?
Absolutely, I was thoroughly impressed, but it comes more to that as well. So I have to ask you, what came first, the love for whiskey or the love for blues? Because you are pretty phenomenal at one and you know your stuff about the other, as you alluded to, you're in the industry.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, I've been playing music since I was a kid, but I pretty much got into blues and playing blues music and playing in blues bands when I was at university, really. And I'd say that was about 2 years ahead of falling in love with whiskey. I was studying in Scotland, so that's how I kind of fell in with whiskey.
That was my next question.
Yeah, studying in Scotland. I lived in Scotland for 11 years. I'm not based in Scotland anymore, but I'm in Scotland all the time for whiskey stuff and for our events. And it came from that. So I'd say starting to really play blues music, knuckle down on it, starting to study it properly was 2 years before whiskey. And then from there, it just slowly turned from just hobbies and passions into making it into my job.
Well, all that's left to do is tell our wonderful listeners where they can come and see you if they've not checked out already by the great work we've done to promote it. But I like to let you guys do the talking. Where are you? When are you? How can people get involved and see it?
Sure. Thank you so much for this little interview as well. So our show is 2 Guys, 3 Drams, the ultimate live blues and whiskey experience. So we're on at 8:15 until the 29th at Triplex Big, right around the corner from Surgeons Hall. And we serve you 3 whiskeys, play some blues tunes in an hour. And everyone has a lovely time.
And in my totally unbiased Scottish opinion of amateur rugby, best show, best interview I've ever done with 3 drams in me. That's all.
More from Sam after he's got the whiskey out of his system later in the first hour.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, we've met plenty of Australian acts at the Fringe, and we're about to meet another one now. Ben Francis has brought Australia's best tribute act to the Fringe this year for the very first time, and they're performing a show called 70s Jukebox by the 64. It's at the Bijou, which is venue 20 at the Assembly Rooms between the 18th and the 30th at 2:30. And, well, I'm sure you've heard the advert by now, and Ben is with me. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
Yes. But you're not Australian, are you?
No, I'm a fraud. No, I was actually born in England, but I have lived in Australia since I was 8 years old. So it's really nice to bring our show back to where I was born.
We were saying it's kind of like a bucket list moment for you and the band, isn't it?
It definitely is. I mean, we're a completely self-produced act, as so many acts are. And so we actually started 11 years ago in a high school music classroom was how we originated. And we've kind of just every year we thought, let's do something bigger. And we take the risk completely ourselves. And this is the first time that we are outside of Australia on our own back. So we're thrilled.
So it's really exciting stuff, isn't it?
It is, absolutely.
Even down to the journey. It's a long old trek, isn't it?
I know. And obviously I've been back to the UK a lot, but some of the boys haven't. So they were like, 14 hours? It's a long flight, yeah.
It is indeed. Now, you mentioned about the formation of the band, like 10, 11 years ago, whatever, at school. So you're all basically school chums.
We were. So we were all just friends at school, and there was a co-curricular kind of boys choir, all different year levels, and we were all a part of that. the man who was leading that at the time was Michael Griffiths, who has been to Edinburgh Fringe a lot, actually. He's an amazing cabaret performer. And before he started teaching us in high school, he was in the Australian touring production of the Jersey Boys.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, so he handed us this songbook and we started exploring all of those amazing harmonies of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. And yeah, one thing led to another. The four of us kind of stayed back one lunchtime because of course it was usually just a quartet, so we kind of got rid of all the other boys and we just started singing it as a quartet, and we fell in love with that sound, and it led us to discover so much more of that era, the 60s and then the 70s, the Bee Gees, the Beach Boys, all those iconic harmonies, and yeah, we took it and ran with it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, I mean, you're all youngsters still, aren't you? I mean, even at 10 years. And for me, of course, I grew up in the 70s, so I was there. A little
Jealous.
bit of the sick. Well, there we are. At least you're still here now. But it was a real kind of, I mean, 70s is still the era, with a little bit of 60s as well. I mean, 60s, 70s, growing up then was fantastic. And you're right to be jealous, because I still look back on it, that was the best decade for music, for everything.
It's just such timeless music. I always find it really exciting when a young person comes to the show and they enjoy it just as much as an older person. And it's because, you know, you go to a 21st birthday party nowadays, it's 70s music that's on the playlist. It's stood the test of time, and it's just, it's awesome music.
So the actual name, the 64, not the easiest thing that rolls off the tongue.
No, it's
and
not.
The spelling is different as well. It's like 60,
yes,
and then FOUR.
Can you tell we created that name while we were in year 9? Yeah, it was very literal. I remember sitting around a table and we kind of decided on it, and it was we started with 60s music. That was how the group originated, and we only kind of expanded to 70s a couple of years ago, which is obviously the show we've brought here. But it was four boys who do 60s music. The 64.
The 64.
Does what it says on the box.
Yes. And you weren't tempted to change it to the 74 for the Fringe?
No, well, I guess we could just keep going up, couldn't we?
Yes.
Next year it'll be the 84.
I know, it's getting worrying. But people still go back. I mean, when they do go back, you know, it seems to be the 70s as well, because it was such a defining era. You had the dance with obviously the Bee Gees, who reinvented themselves as a disco act. You had punk rock after 1976. Early on in the decade, you had progressive rock and then glam rock as well.
Yeah.
And looking at the charts, I don't know what it was like in Australia, but certainly in Britain, it was so eclectic. I mean, you would have someone like a duo, Peters and Lee, for instance, or Milligan and Nisbet, alongside Sweet and Shawaddy and the Rubettes and all this kind of stuff. And then you'd get the Stranglers in and ABBA and all the rest of it. I mean, you put it in one big melting pot, and it really was, in the space of just 10 years, how it shaped the music of today.
It was so diverse, like the range of genres, and you had the piano men, you had, you know, Elton John and Billy Joel doing their thing, and it was just would have been so amazing to be there at that time.
It was. Yes, we can only talk about, but of course, luckily that a lot of videos still exist from the 70s. Not the greatest quality, but it's there. But how did you come to choose the songs?
Yeah, it's been really interesting. I mean, I remember we change our set list every year because there is just so many songs, and we always talk to our mums a lot because they know what happened.
What about the dads?
Well, yeah,
they're involved.
They're all exactly. I mean, the Australian dads love a bit of Australian rock, but it's. I think we've tried to create a really holistic show. So we've got Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. We've got Fleetwood Mac. We've got Leo Sayer, who you know has that amazing falsetto voice. We've got and we have actually for the first time we've done a Bay City Rollers tune.
Oh my goodness, just for Edinburgh.
Just for Edinburgh. We thought we got it lean in while we're here. So we're doing Shangalang as well. So yeah, it's we've tried to make it as holistic as possible. We've got Rod Stewart. We've got the Bee Gees, as I said, the Tramps, bit of the disco.
Oh,
so, yeah. It's a really good one, and what we've done this show for a good few years, so we know kind of which songs work and which ones don't, and this show is just stacked with the ones that work, so it's just going to be a big party.
Yeah, so this one is kind of like the very best of the 64 and based on reaction.
It is, 100%.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we're certainly looking forward to it. The thing is, of course, back in Australia, you're probably doing 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Here, it's only, 50 minutes an hour?
Exactly.
So really compressed. So,
yeah, and we've tried to, we just cut the talking, just give them song after song, you know. So we've still got about 16 songs, I think. We've got a lot of choreography as well, a lot of dancing, which I think sets us apart. A lot of tribute acts don't have that, but we are kind of we lean into that Las Vegas energy.
And of course, in the 70s, there was a lot of this, particularly with the soul singers, all the various moves. Some of them you look back on now and you think, my goodness, how did they get away with that?
100%. And that's how we kind of choreographed our show. We did it ourselves, and we went through YouTube and looked at some of those amazing live performances. Even like the early Ed Sullivan show in the early 70s, and the amazing choreography. So we've tried to pick those moves, and it's a lot of fun.
And you've clearly studied the subject. I mean, and there's a lot to study.
Yeah, it's a fascinating era. It feels like every time you kind of open a page or turn a page, there's just a whole new catalogue of songs it's just incredible.
And is it the same 4 that started out?
We've had a couple of changes over the years, and we do have a couple of swings now because it's a great problem to have. We're just so busy. But it is we're all from Adelaide. We all went to school together. Yeah.
One thing that's really interesting, of course, is because obviously you set yourself up as Australia's greatest tribute act, which is nice, and I'm sure it's absolutely true as well. But what about the situation over there, in particular with tribute acts? I mean, do you tend to find that the tribute acts over there don't really do kind of a compilation of 70s or 60s different music? Do they just concentrate on, say, a Fleetwood Mac tribute or a Bee Gees tribute?
That's exactly right. There's a lot of tribute acts out there, but that is what we find. You've got the Roy Orbison tribute, you've got the Beatles tribute, and that's why we wanted to kind of flip that on its head and be an era tribute and tribute the era. So in Australia we tour our 60s and 70s show, which is kind of so there's 20 years worth of music, and and that's why we can change the set list so much, because there is just so much there. But I think it just keeps it exciting. For an audience member, you don't know what's coming. If you go to the Roy Orbison show, you can probably pick this set list in your head right now. Pretty Woman's going to be at the end. You've got the structure, whereas this one we can kind of just we can keep surprising, so it keeps the audiences on their feet, keeps them engaged. I find that's a really cool experience,
and it keeps it fresh for the whole band as well, doesn't it?
Exactly. We can just choose what we want to do, and it's a great 70s number, and boom, there you go.
Are there any sort of, like when you do, I'm just trying to think, if you did a T-Rex song, for instance, would the lead singer kind of go into that T-Rex mode, that Mark Bolan thing? Or is it just basically not many changes in terms of clothes and stuff? How does it work?
We do try and make it our own, each of the songs, but anchor it in the era. So it's finding that balance that is the key. We also add a lot of harmonies, because that's our thing.
Yeah.
Our thing is harmonies. So if there is a song that doesn't have harmonies, it's got harmonies now. So it's kind of contemporizing it a little bit. We've got a 4-piece band as well, so and we've got our own arrangements of the songs, so it's still surprise. You know the song, you love the song, and then it's got our little twist, halfway through, which is again it contemporizes it, brings it into today, and we find that really helps bring new audiences in too, and younger audiences too.
So this show is full of bangers, great hits.
That's exactly
can't go wrong. But back in Australia, when you're doing other things, to make it interesting for yourself as well, when you select the music that you're going to play, do you sometimes kind of bring in something completely off the wall? Because the 70s, as well as being defining for disco and punk and glam rock and all the rest of it, there was some incredible cheesy stuff, let's put it like that. Some novelty songs like Ernie and the Wurzels and stuff like that. Now, I wouldn't imagine that you would put something like that in, but occasionally from time to time, maybe one song in a set. What would surprise people that you would put in?
Yeah, we often, obviously the bangers are the ones people know, and they're the staples, but because we now know so much of this music and we're all so passionate about it, there's a lot of the songs that people might not have even heard of, that's, you know, kind of B-side, like track 13 on the 4th album or whatever. And we bring that and we go, let's do that one, give that a whirl. And it's really popular. I remember there's a song called Helplessly Hoping by Crosby, Stills and Nash. Now, it's not one of their big ones. It's not, you know, Our House or whatever, you know, those big Teach Your Children. And we do it, and it's 3-part harmony the whole time. The whole song is 3-part harmony, and it is gorgeous. And we had so much feedback going, I'd never heard of that song. Obviously, Crosby, Stills and Nash, heard of them, great, love them, but never heard of that song. So we really enjoy kind of finding those little gems that aren't potentially as popular and showing that to people. And as you said, keeps it interesting for us as well.
But we're not going to see Ernie, the fastest milkman on
No, unfortunately not in this set list.
Well, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. You know, this is a completely new generation. You're bringing songs which were fabulous in the 70s, and I remember them well. But of course, you know, I keep forgetting that, you know, there are 20, 30-year-olds there who weren't in the 70s, and they're kind of being educated all the time about this music. And from your point of view, I don't know if you've done any recordings yourself, but you could easily take album track from a 70s act, make it your own, and bring it out. Is that on the cards?
It is definitely on the cards, and it will hopefully. We do have 4 kind of live CDs or USBs that have 12 tracks each. So we've got kind of, I don't know, what's 12 times 4? It's too early for that.
What, 12 fours?
Yeah.
48.
Thanth you. Good maths.
That maths O level came in handy at last.
So we've got 48 live tracks. So it does give that kind of that atmosphere, and it does show you what we do with the song live and that arrangement. But we haven't actually gone into a recording studio yet, but it is on the cards.
And that's a completely different ballgame, isn't it?
100%.
The tight harmonies that you've learnt from doing it time after time, day after day. I'd imagine your harmonies are so tight, it'd be unbelievable.
Yeah.
But to get in the studio and experiment, I'd certainly look forward to that.
Yeah, and the other thing that is on the cards is we're going to try and write our own music that is anchored in the 60s and 70s. It's got the 60s and 70s feel, but it's our songs, it's contemporary, but it's got those harmonies all the way through. So that's something we're playing with as well.
And what about the business side of it? Because you're a young chap still. I mean, even though you've been going 10 years, you started really young.
Yeah.
It's a difficult business to be in terms of, you know, meeting people and pushing your act forward and doing all the administration, etc.
Yeah.
Is it literally a kind of you're in charge and you don't have someone telling you what to do?
Yeah, 100%. Independence is an amazing thing. It's also a massive challenge. So, you know, we pride ourselves that we've done this ourselves. We are independent, but yes, it is it's an all-consuming job. It's a lot of work, but yeah, just keep on going. I had to, obviously it was a hobby in high school. That was basically, so every kind of show we put on, I'd learn more about putting on shows. So it was kind of a on-the-job experience. I did go and get a Master of Arts Management while I was doing this, kind of straight after school, and that helped a lot. The organisation, because, you know, there's no school. I mean, obviously there's graduate stuff, but there's nothing in school that teaches you. It was even stuff like budgeting. I didn't feel like I'd actually worked out how to, by year 12, like the kind of GCSE level, hadn't worked out how to actually do a working budget with the contingency, with all of that. That was something you have to learn. And, you know, I always say, you know, I've made so many mistakes in 11 years, but that's why we're here now.
They can be quite financially demanding as well. I was a promoter in another life about 30 years ago with Boyzone and Peter Andre and people like that. Long time. Well, it was brilliant at the time, but you also then get into a false sense of security and you start sort of thinking, wow, this would be great. And I remember booking 911, who you know, went on to tremendous things, and we had it all set that we were going to put them on. They were probably going to be number one in the charts. At the time of the concert, the record company decided, we're going to hold back the release now for 4 weeks. And it was a half-filled theatre, and you lose a lot of money. And everything has to be absolutely spot on and right. And there's so many risks. You've got to be insured right up to high heaven, because you don't know if 2 of your members suddenly go ill or something, you've got to cancel. It's a minefield.
It is.
But it can be rewarding.
And it's, you know, it's cash flow as well. This is one of the biggest industries for cash flow problems. I mean, you get the ticket money after the season. So you've got to have a good enough business model that you have all of that expenditure has to be paid without the ticket. The tickets for this show actually are for next show's expenditure, not this show.
Yeah.
So I only stopped putting my savings into the business like 2 years ago.
Right.
This was 9 years worth of savings, so my interest is not great. We've now kind of managed to have a model where we have money to be able to put more shows on, and that's the thing. You make a profit for one show, you can't be, oh, this is amazing, let's go out and have a holiday. That goes to the next show. That goes to the inevitable loss of doing a new show in a new area the next year. And so, yeah, every time we kind of did about 3 more venues every year for 11 years. We added 3 venues every year. And that kind of was that balance, that risk balance. Now that we're kind of getting bigger in Australia, it's like an overnight success. It was like, yeah, that overnight success took 11 years. So, but people don't see that bit.
Yeah. And of course, flipping on the other side as well, the acts that have maybe had a hit or two or whatever, there's no money in that now because everyone's streaming it free. So they have to go out on the road. At least you're out on the road. Yeah. And no doubt merchandising will be involved.
Yes, we've got, as I said, USBs, 48 tracks on the USBs, we've got t-shirts, and we've got tea towels.
Tea towels? Why tea towels?
Well, it was actually, would you believe, requested a lot. Tea towels. So
really?
We've got our logo on tea towels. See, I don't know, people want to wash their dishes thinking of us. Who knows?
What's next?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's next. People said back scratches. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. As I say, it's at the Bijou Assembly Rooms, venue 20. Do look it up in your big Bible with all the details in there. It's at 2:30. I was going to say kick-off. 2:30 it starts, and you're through all the way now to the 30th of August, with the exception of the 24th. And Ben Francis, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks so much. Great to be here.
Bringing the festival to you. Fringe Radio.
Earlier, Sam Matthews took in the Two Guys, Three Drams show, but he sobered up enough to dive into a bit of virtual reality with an interesting attraction called Concerts of the Future, and he met up with co-creators Kieran and Eric.
Well, I'm joined by Eric, who has been designated the front man of this whole operation, but it's a whole team effort here, and like you say, your whole shtick is we are going to bring music to people, and it's not even a shtick by the end of it. Yeah. People genuinely believe they can play a part in music, and how powerful is that for you as a message?
Well, it's great, because as I said, I really did not have any music, so when Kieran found out I couldn't play music, he was like, great. That's the guy we need. So, I mean, it's sort of like I'm somewhere in that space between disabilities and complete greenhorn to just a regular guy, who can't play music. And so the idea that we've democratized music is something we were interested in. And also, too, throwing people in the deep end to play with Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, that's hilarious. So we want to sort of honour that sort of, have them have that experience without going through all those years of rehearsal.
Yeah, you did make 10,000 hours of training in about 30 seconds flat, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, 30 seconds versus 10,000 hours. You do the maths. That's it.
Not only that, you create unique instruments for everybody that takes part in it. Obviously, they put in a little bit of facts about themselves, put in facts about their sort of musical taste. How do you come up with naming this? Is it just a random name generator, or is it something that actually means that to the person involved?
Yeah, well, obviously we've worked with, there's a whole back-end team. There's people doing design on the instruments, and they put it into different models. They take it out of the models. It's the same with the composers. The composers work on the thing. They both put them in and out of models, taking them out, and it's the same with the names. So the names is, borrowing from, we've got the internet at our disposal for the etymology. It used to be very Eurocentric, and now we've just expanded it out to the whole world. So we're getting references from, indigenous Malay languages all the way through to Indo-European and your classic Greek and all the other etymological things. I mean, because we're in English, obviously, there is that as well, but it's we try to make it personal, and also too, it's literally what is personal. If we acknowledge their personality, them answering that question, then they have been acknowledged and seen, and I reckon that's stronger than you are this.
In the interactive experience, not to give it too much away to our audience before they come and try it out, but you get to do a couple of things with members from the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra. How much fun was that?
Unbelievable. When we got offered, we kind of didn't think that it was going to happen. We basically kind of thought it was never going to happen. And they said, "Yeah, we can hire Melbourne Symphony Orchestra." And we're like, "What?" And then that's when we really had to go. And of course, it's Kieran's He's the brains behind this thing, so it was like this total back-end thing.
It was your sort of initial brainchild, but it's a whole team behind it. But tell me, just how so do you make this really immersive experience? You have little time to work with, but you managed to pack a lot in, and wow, you've managed to make science and art really come together through the theatre of music and symphony orchestra.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's only a 30-minute experience, so it's you're right, we definitely pack it in. We kind of started this idea with the idea that anyone could be a musician and play with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra, and so what we've done is we've kind of made this journey across 30 minutes where people get to design an instrument, practice with it really quickly, get their 10,000 hours of practice in about 5 minutes, and then walk onto stage with the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra and play in an orchestra regardless of whether they've even touched an instrument before.
And as a guy who's never touched an instrument before, I can say I smashed it. I got a resounding applause. How involved have the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra been in with you? Obviously, you've had to get the cameras in. You can see it in the virtual experience, not to ruin it, but you can see all the musicians around you when you're in the headset. They are really keen for it. They keep making eyes at you, make you feel real part of it. How involved have they been in the process?
Oh, they've been an integral part of the process. So they've been pretty much from day one. Obviously, the recording was a kind of monumental task. All the takes that we had to do to kind of get it to feel like you were really sitting inside the orchestra was a real kind of, I think, in the end, triumph. We have 40 terabytes of data sitting on these hard drives everywhere, these very fancy cameras that we bought in to record all of this. But I think it pays off in terms of, it really does feel like you're sitting within the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra at the end of it.
Yeah, it does. I think I'm best friends with the two women that were on the cello and the violin to my left and right. I almost feel obligated to apologise to them for ruining the orchestra. But incredibly, like you said, you managed to get people so involved in it and immersed in such a short period of time. How do you actually do that? Because obviously you are taking this all across the world. You're going wherever you can get to show off your technology, but also show the capabilities that there is for the world of music. How much of a task is it to set up a room that you can be given anywhere across Edinburgh, for example?
Yeah, well, we can take this technology anywhere, but I think the kind of magic of doing it at the Fringe in particular is that we get to see so many people use the technology underneath it. And that means we can learn new things. We can say, okay, that's not quite working. What if it sounded like this? What if it sounded like this? What if you moved like this? So we're kind of always, it's a movable feast, and we're always trying to improve, regardless of experience from music or learning an instrument, trying to improve the kind of feeling of playing in an orchestra or playing an instrument for anyone.
You've got a lab jacket on. I've got a science background myself. You touched on it there. Everything we love is data, or as you said, it's data. Everything we want is how do we quantify it? How do we learn from it? Is there like an overall mission behind this? Is there like a research aspect of it that you're trying to put in? Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work in a lab called SensiLab as part of Monash University in Melbourne, Australia. And our research is practice-based research in almost exactly this. So we are always learning, and I guess our question is, how can we encourage more people to kind of actively participate in music? There's so many people listen to music and it's such a big part of their lives, but our research looks at, okay, what if those people could play music, or what if, they wanted to play in an orchestra or play in a band? How do we make that happen? So it's actually a real life research. Despite all the lab coats and the theatre around it, we're doing real research behind it, which is kind of fun.
Science is all around us. And lastly, this is the part I like you guys to tell, because it's your passion project. Where can our wonderful listeners around at Fringe Radio and all across Edinburgh, where can they come and find you, and when are you on?
They can find us at Summer Hall. We meet in the lobby from 1 till 6 p.m. every single day except Mondays. And we're running sessions across the day, so just drop in when you've got a free moment.
I can't recommend it enough. I popped in straight after work and it was great.
And you can get more information at the website concertsofthefuture.live, and they're based at the lobby at Summer Hall, and you can book your time slots at various times between 3 o'clock and 7:30 daily till the 30th of August, with the exception of the 24th. After the break, my special guest is German comedian and former model and internet sensation Mario Adrion.
Bringing the festival to you.
One story, two people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
What is the most powerful force in the universe? This August, magician and physicist Kevin Quantum brings an all-new Fringe show to Edinburgh. Invisible Force. Expect brand new magic inventions, impossible moments you'll never have seen before, and astonishing illusions where science and mystery collide. Electricity crackles, reality bends, and you'll leave questioning what's actually possible. Funny, surprising, and unlike anything else at the Fringe. Search Quantum at edfringe.com and discover Kevin Quantum. Invisible Force.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, it's a great pleasure to talk to and finally meet up with Mario Adrion, who is at the Venue 33 Attic at Pleasance Courtyard. It's a show called Live a Little, and we'll be exploring that very, very shortly. But first of all, Mario, your first Fringe, I believe.
First time in Edinburgh. I did a tour in Scotland. I did Glasgow on my regular tour as a comedian, and it was the most drunk city I've ever encountered in my entire life. We had to kick out a heckler. She was very drunk, and it was fun.
Yes.
I love Scottish people.
Yes. Well, I first found out about you, obviously, via YouTube, and the famous video where you proposed to your girlfriend, now wife.
Now wife, yeah.
And that went totally viral. Didn't do you any harm at all, did it?
No. I was like, if I propose, let's make it, content as well. It's a very American way of looking at things. So, it was good. It was at a comedy club, and we're expecting a child, by the way.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
Congratulations.
November, this is going to be the last kind of international trip I do, and then I'm going to go on paternity leave for 2 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're in LA, of course.
Yeah, I live in Los Angeles, which is why I miss, I like how cozy it is here. I like the rain. I like how gray it is. People hate it probably here after a while, but I love it. It's very cozy. I miss seasons,
Yes.
Especially for writing, I feel very cozy. In LA, it's always sunny, so it's every day feels the same. This feels unpredictable, but cozy. I like it.
It's interesting because we can hear your German accent. You can hear a bit of the old American twang as well. So you're very international now.
I am. You should have heard. I think if I spent after a month in Scotland, I think I'll sound more Scottish too. I think I'll pick up a little bit of that. It happens when English is not your first language, you pick up whatever accent you're around. I remember when I watched the TV show Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch, I had a British accent for a while. So it depends on what I'm watching, what I'm surrounded by. So yeah.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, social media has been fantastic for you. I mean, the new young comedians who are coming up, of course, they use it as a fantastic tool for them. They're using X and Instagram and TikTok and everything else. Yeah. And it works beautifully, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it democratized the comedy industry in a way, because there's less gatekeepers. I can just if I can connect with my audience, then I don't depend on anybody else, which gave me a lot of freedom, because early on in my career, it felt like in LA, at the Comedy Store, all these clubs, you feel like you always have to make friends and meet the right people, and it can be this is a power dynamic that reminds me a little bit of my days as a model as well. So I love how social media has just made me able to connect with my fans right away, do this tour. We're sold out here, so I'm very grateful for that.
Now, you mentioned your modelling career, which we'll talk about now, because it's very much part of your show, Live a Little, and in fact, you're modelling the image for the posters.
Yeah. It's the poster's a little douchey, but I was like, you know what? This is what the show's about. It's about me being an underwear model, moving from a small town in Germany to New York to pursue that. I kind of fell into it. It was never a goal of mine, but it just so happened, and navigating that was fun. I had a lot of crazy experiences and also some hard experiences. So after I'm not fully out of modeling, I felt like this is a story that's so unique that I want to tell and take to Fringe. Yeah.
So why decide to put that all out as your brand new show?
Well, it's a bit of a departure from my usual stand-up, because I'm known for cultural jokes, right? I love different cultures. I've traveled a lot, speak multiple languages. So that's kind of like what I'm known for online. But I want to do something more personal. It's a story I've always known I needed to tell. I didn't know the format yet. Even when I was modeling, I was like, one day I got to do something with this story. I got to tell the story because I think it can be valuable for people, especially men, not just people who go through modeling, because that's not a very relatable thing, obviously, but it talks about being a people pleaser. It talks about wanting validation, all these things that are quite relatable, and surprisingly so, even though the subject matters maybe not. And I always knew I wanted to do something with it. And when I started comedy, I think I needed the tools, because I started comedy 6 years ago. I think it's because I talk about sexual assault and darker topics that when you first start comedy, you don't want to dive into that right away. But now after releasing my first special, after having done comedy for a while, I think dealing with dark topics is so fun because it builds so much tension. And I think the more tension there is, the more release there can be. And it's my favorite thing when I'm in a room and I build so much tension, but then you can break them with a joke and bring comedy to a dark subject. It's very cathartic and very fun as an artist to do.
And in a way, a little bit risky, possibly?
Yeah, but it's not safe. Because the thing is, now I feel I'm in my comfort zone right now. Because if I go on tour, I make fun of English people are going to laugh. You know, if I make fun of Americans, people are going to love it. But I think this is a level it's more difficult. This is why it's appealing to me, you know, because I want to get out of my comfort zone and try something different, surprise my audience, surprise myself. And I would be a little nervous to do it at my regular tours because people expect me to just roast the French and make fun of Germany. And I think Fringe is a good entryway to just, the expectation is, hey, this is something different and it feels perfect to try it out here.
And you speak English as if it's your first language. Obviously, German's your first language, but yeah. I guess, that made the challenge even more for you, particularly going into stand-up comedy.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. People ask me that all the time, but I think it's easier for me to do comedy in English now than it would be in German. Because when I grew up in Germany, I grew up with engineering. I had a very traditional German upbringing, chopping wood, studying engineering, the typical German path, you'd say. So I don't know if you know this, but we Germans are not known for humor, right? So it's not part of my expression as a German in the German language even. But in English, I feel more comfortable. I make more jokes in English and in America and when I speak with English-speaking people. So I feel more comfortable in English, actually. Also, it gives me the perspective of I'm the outsider. A lot of the things I talk about, even American politics, from the outside perspective of a European. If I was just an American with an American accent, I think it would read different. So I actually like that I am German and have the accent, and that is something that became my strength, I think, in a way. And I never thought talking about being German would be interesting to anybody, and now it's become a whole brand, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the funny thing is as well, because when I was talking to people and saying, "Oh, I've got Mario Adrion on the program today," they say, "Oh, I wonder," this is your opportunity, Stuart, to talk to a real German comedian about Fawlty Towers and that famous episode. But I said, well, I think he's in his 30s now. He might not have heard of Fawlty Towers and the Germans episode. Are you aware of it?
I'm so sorry. Fawlty Towers?
You don't know?
I have not heard of that, no.
I'm so old in comparison. I just realised now how old I am. Yes, it was John Cleese, the Monty Python crew. Yeah. Well, John Cleese did this thing years and years ago, in the 70s actually. So, and he did an episode called The Germans, and it was always a thing that, taking the mickey out of the Germans and stuff. Germans would write and say, oh, we loved that episode. So I'm just interested just to mention it.
Oh, that is fascinating. So it's about World War II, Hitler. Germans are just easy to make fun of, especially I think after World War II, it was so horrible what happened. So I think making fun of Germans is also a way of coping with it. That's why I think Hitler is probably the most made fun of person ever. I feel like it's...
Even back to the Charlie Chaplin days.
Charlie Chaplin is a great example. Yeah, I think it's just how you cope with things. And it's interesting to say that because I think we Germans don't feel comfortable with jokes about our past, right? Like World War II, Hitler, all this stuff. It's very uncomfortable for us. There's a lot of guilt, right? And I learned that when I moved to the US, that it's very normal. Even first time in London, I saw people like making these jokes about me being German and, oh, he's back, we're bombing, whatever. And, can bomb now at this show, done that before. In Germany, it's a bit of a taboo subject to even joke about. So I think I'm one of the first German comedians to actually do that, because comedians in Germany certainly don't really touch that subject. It's becoming a bit more, over time I think it will get there, but what brought me to joke about it is because it's relevant to me. I mean, I'm married to a Jewish woman.
Yeah.
So her family and all the other, like I've met a lot of Jewish people in comedy and friends and even her family, they make the darkest jokes you can imagine.
Really?
Yeah, Jewish people have the darkest sense of humor. I think out of anybody I see, out of any group, Jewish people have a very dark sense of humor about their own past. I mean, it's very traumatic, and I think that's how you cope with things, and spending time with them has kind of allowed me to make these jokes as well. And because it's relevant to me, because I'm married to a Jewish person, it's just something that actually affects my life, so I talk about it. And I have a lot of Jewish fans who come to the shows and love it, and it's
but it's refreshing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Even Germans feel like, a lot of Germans give me the feedback, they're like, oh, I love comedy shows because we all think about this stuff, but we can't talk about it. Yeah. We can't joke about it. I think humor is supposed to, this is not discrediting anything that happened, but I think it's actually, humor has a power to raise awareness for things and just bring people together, because it's so obvious and we Germans just pretend it didn't happen and we don't talk about it. You know, so I think it's important. Yeah.
Germany, football, of course. England and Germany go back a long way, 1966.
That's
so
so
you're a
fun.
football fan?
I am, yes, I am.
So you're wearing a black armband at the moment?
I am. You know, it's fine though. It's fine. Honestly, I was rooting for England at some point. You know.
So was I actually. I'm Scottish.
And you're Scottish? Yeah. I mean, first I was Scotland. I thought this. By the way, Scotland probably besides Norway had the best fan moment of the World Cup. That was incredible in Boston. I have a friend in Boston. He said they love Scottish people now, and then the English came and they don't like the English now because they were always making fun of the Scottish, and they're like, no, they're our friends now. So very cute. I love the World Cup. I brought people together, but that's why I like the World Cup, because you can see all these flags next to each other. You know, you have there's so many tensions. You know, even Morocco, Spain, then you have like Iran, USA, and they have the flags together, and it's just a reminder that we are all the same. We're coming together for the sport. It was great, and I always say this. I love English. I love the English football chants. I was actually at the World Cup with my friend from England.
Oh, right.
And the chants were hilarious. It's just like because America doesn't know how to do chants. They're very good at marketing and things like that, but when it comes to football, they don't know how to do it. They're all chanting. They were like, we believe that we can win. Yes, go sports, athletics. And then England is just absolutely, you know.
And everyone picks up these chants so easily. I mean, is there a school or something they go to learn it before the match, or what happens there?
It taps into something inside of English people that just like they get awakened somehow. You know, I've met these guys in Manchester when I was on tour, and they were communicating to me. They were very drunk, by the way, after a darts game. I didn't know darts was such a big thing where people get drunk. I thought darts is just something you watch and it's a very laid back experience.
Very different over here.
Very different. So and they were talking to me in chants. Instead of responding to me in words, they were chanted me. Like, do you want some pizza? And they were just waving their arms. I was like, this is incredible. I love them. I love these lads. Yeah.
So this is your first Fringe experience.
Yes.
And obviously it's very early in the run at the moment, but you must be getting great vibes around the show and around the festival itself.
Yeah, it's incredible. I've been feeling a little bit outside of the comedy community because I've been touring for the past 4 months essentially in Europe, and just doing my show, you know, doing a show in Manchester, you know, sleeping, waking up the next morning, doing a show in Dublin, just traveling all the time. So now it feels like I'm really around my peers, which is one of the most valuable things. Just feeling the creative energy, having conversations with other artists has been my favorite thing so far. I was at one event and I met so many people, even from the US, friends that have been, new friends I met, people from I met this guy before my show, he's from Scotland. It's just really cool seeing that and talking to other people. And it's day one, so I'm going to give you a full breakdown of my experience after, but so far it's been incredible.
So obviously, I mean, you're going to be a father very soon, which is all very, very exciting. Mm-hmm. And as you say, you're going to take a couple of months off. You probably need a bit more than that, maybe.
We'll see. I wonder
what sort of father are you going to be?
I think I'm going to be a cool dad. See, here's the thing. I was raised by German parents, and German parents are very hands-off. They make you very independent. I'm not saying neglectful. It's almost like it's the thin line between showing them love and support, but then also being a little, to the point where, hey, if you fall down, just figure it out. You're going to learn from it. And I think American parents are much more, it's called helicopter parents. Have you heard of this term?
Yes.
Right? It's very much, they're always around you. They're I'm so worried about you, you know, and trying to protect the child. And I think it's going to be me, my wife, she's probably going to take that part a bit more. And I'm going to take the part of hey, you got to do the work. You got to be independent. You have to do, you know, because I was chopping wood when I was 6 years old to help with the fireplace. So I want to instill some of these German parenting techniques while still, you know, and I think it's a good mix. If you have some American parenting and German parenting combined, I think our child will be superior and it'll be great.
So how far ahead have you got your schedule now for the future, for your comedy shows?
We're actually, I'm taking November, December, January off basically, and then we've already booked, you know, February, March, April. I'm just going to do weekends in the US mainly, and I'm mainly staying in the US next year. Maybe end of the year I will do a little Europe run potentially. We'll see. It's hard to predict because I don't know how it's going to be, what it's going to be like to be a dad. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, we plan ahead. My team is very on it. They're the most German non-Germans ever. They're very efficient and they're on it. So yeah, because there's a lot of momentum right now in my career, which I'm grateful for. But maybe that's actually a good time to take time off when you feel like things are going well. It's more comfortable to take time off then. rather than, oh, I'm not making enough money, I'm stressed, and then to take, So I'm very grateful for all of it, and we'll see.
And of course, presume your wife does come to some of the gigs most of the time?
Yeah, she does. We're thinking about bringing her to Scotland. It's just like she can fly. She's like now 27 weeks pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what the doctor says. We're thinking about flying her in the last week. I think she would really enjoy the old architecture and the history here in Edinburgh. So she's never been. And she comes on some gigs. She didn't want to come to Sheffield, She didn't want to come to Cleveland, Ohio. She's very selective. But if I go to a cool place that she wants to see, she'll come out. Yeah, a nice little apartment here is very cozy. So yeah.
And what about now that you're living in America, American television? I know you did the Jimmy Kimmel Show, for instance, which is one of the must-be-on shows in America.
Yeah, I mean, American television, interesting. Social media has changed the game so much to where the relevance is not the same, I think. It used to be as a comedian that you needed to go on late night television, and that was the only path for you to get any recognition. Now social media has changed a little bit. So I'm not fully focused on the TV aspect, which, it's a beautiful thing, because I think once you're not desperate to get opportunities, they'll come. Yeah. That's one thing I've learned from when you're like, oh, I need this job, I need this. Even when I was modeling, and you feel desperate, then it's not going to happen. So, I've done American Idol also with Katy Perry, which is very fun.
Yes, now that was an interesting sketch, wasn't it? Tell us about that for those who didn't see it.
Well, American Idol is a singing competition, right? It's not a comedy competition, and I'm not a singer at all. But my friend is a casting director. He was like, hey, you should do something very funny. You have a fun personality. So I basically went on stage as this male model who wants to be recognized as an artist and as a singer and doesn't want to be objectified anymore. And then I showed up in a Speedo, which obviously is a fun contradiction. It's almost like the movie Zoolander. Have you seen, do you know Zoolander? Yeah, with Ben Stiller. So that was kind of like the idea of like a fun skit, and it was fully improvised. And then Katy Perry basically challenged me to like a catwalk battle of some sort, and we did that. And it was a very fun moment on television. And that was kind of like the beginning stages of me doing comedy. I hadn't started stand-up comedy yet. It's when I was a model, but I always had this desire to be more comedic, right? Do something fun. So that was the first time I combined being hot with being funny, and it was cool, and I liked it. And that was a big turning point in my career where I realized, wow, people like me for my personality, not just for my looks. And I think I can do something with it. And then I started comedy shortly thereafter.
And you mentioned Ben Stiller there, and of course a lot of comedians from America. Robin Williams famously, of course, went into movies and stuff. Is that another sort of step that we could be seeing down the road? It's
funny, it's a conversation I'm having with my team right now. I mean, I'm getting requests for things like that, but I'm a stand-up comedian first. Mm-hmm. Like, I care about stand-up, and that's what I will do movies, and I'm excited to do it, but that's not the number one thing I ever want to do. Maybe things will change, though. I mean, I like the craft of acting. I think it's a beautiful thing. I like the community aspect of being with a cast. But at the same time, I don't want to lose sight of comedy. I think a lot of people in LA specifically do comedy so that they can get into the movies. That was never the case for me. Stand-up is my main goal. It's what I do. And also sometimes you can get too sidetracked. If you do everything, if you do voiceover and acting, and you have a podcast, and you do social media and also comedy, I think you do nothing. You do too many things at once. And I think I'm just like, stand-up comedy is the one thing I do. It's the thing I love the most, the freedom of that. Because if I have an idea now, in this conversation we could have made a joke, and I can go up on stage tonight and try it out. With acting, there's a huge, and I respect that, because you have to like write a script, get it approved, get funding, find investors, shoot a pilot, and then it doesn't get picked up. So it's a huge, the creative process is a lot more complicated, and I like how immediate and raw comedy is. So that's what I want to be doing.
The bigger a comedian gets, then the more demand there is for him. And he's suddenly going from the clubs that you're doing at the moment, the kind of 200, 300, 500 seaters or whatever, and then they go to the big arenas, 10, 15,000 people. Sometimes you have to go there because the demand is there. I saw the Kevin Bridges show the other day, and he was over in America recently, and again, playing to big theatres, but then doing a warm-up show in front of 400, 500 people. Mm-hmm. So a great way to keep grounded.
I think comedy is not made for big rooms. I think comedy is made for, as you said, I think 300 people is the perfect. It's maybe 250. The best comedy experience is in New York, when you're in a basement club in New York and you just have 250 people and it's packed, low ceilings, it's intimate, right? Once you go to a big place, there's a barrier. I mean, a physical distance between you and the audience. The sound disappears, and I think it's a cool how can I say, it's a cool statement, you know, when people do the Wrigley Field in Chicago. Melanie just did Wrigley Field for like 70,000 people or something crazy like that, which nobody can tell me that's a good comedy experience, but it's like celebrating him in an epic way, right? So I think I'll do that at some point in my career, but I'll always, if I have the option of doing like a 20,000 seat arena, or I can do like 4 shows of like 5,000, I'll do the smaller one, just for the sake of comedy. I did recently do my biggest show. It was for the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. It was 15,000 people. I was opening for Weird Al Yankovic. It was epic though. It was a different energy, but it's not the same intimacy. You almost have to wait for the laughs. It feels more of a performance, right? You have to like be big, stay in the punchline, wait for the laughs to get to you, then continue. Whereas when I'm in a comedy club, I can talk how I'm talking right now. You know, and it's very more conversational. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I did some bigger shows. I did. I mean, now I'm doing like some theaters in the U.S., like 1,000 seaters, and that's still fine. But yeah, we'll see. I always want to keep grounded with, you know, that more conversational, real connection at a small comedy club. Yeah,
you're absolutely right about the sound, because it does travel, and people are kind of going to these shows. They're not actually looking on the stage; they're looking at the big screens.
Exactly,
and it's kind of out of sync.
That was so trippy. The first time I did this was like for, I did a corporate gig and it was like for 3,000 people. And I was on stage and I looked at these people and they were not looking at me. I was like, who is doing something right now in the background? Like, what's so important? Is there somebody walking naked beside the stage? And they're looking at the screen. It was a very surreal experience. You're playing to an audience and they're looking away from you. It was bizarre. I thought they were all possessed by some sort of like, you know, it was very creepy, honestly. It was.
Well, certainly people will be looking at the stage at you here at Venue 33, Attic at Pleasance Courtyard. I'm certainly looking forward to coming and enjoying one of your shows live for the very first time. Live a Little is what it's called, to the 30th August. Different times as well, so do check edfringe.com for tickets and information. And Mario, it's been fabulous to meet you.
Thank you. You too. Appreciate that. Thanks for the time.
Mario Adrion. And next up, part 2 of my walk up the Royal Mile.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
I cannot believe he asked me to do OnlyFans.
Hold on, let's talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about.
We're always complaining about money.
Then get another job. I am not selling my body. I'm listening to me now. I'm good at this.
15 Minutes of Shame, from the 7th to the 30th of August at 7:20 at Playground 2 at Zoo Playground. Tickets at edfringe.com.
I want to tell you a true story. Many years ago, a humble young musical comedian was approached by some radio producers and asked if he might contribute one of his comedy voices to a new segment for their network's most popular show. For many years, this young man delighted in answering questions from people all over the world and bringing a little simple joy to his troubled land, while all the time, nobody knew who he really was. But now his story can finally be told. Mitch Ben is Asking Elvis, coming soon to a theater near you. Thank you very much.
This August, discover the best comedy, cabaret, kids shows and more at the Free Festival. With over 360 daily shows, there's something for everybody at a price for everyone. Donate what you think the show's worth at the end, or book pay what you can tickets to keep the Fringe accessible for everyone. The Free Festival, the real spirit of the Edinburgh Fringe. Full programme at freefestival.co.uk.
One story, 2 people. Amanda Crowley and Thomas Duncan. One lawyer, one mass murderer. The case is lost. She wants it anyways. Not to win, but to understand how monsters are made. Glimpse behind the societal masks, as with Monster Made, an intense character study, a captivating, psychological, intimate play is coming to the Fringe at Paradise in the Vault. Only the one who can change his mind can actually change something. Monster Made runs from August 24th to August 30th. Book your seats today at edfringe.com.
Florence Nightingale, you've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader,
the globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65. Her Story Theatre Company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive two-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45pm. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Well, a lot of new productions that we're talking about today, but it's nice as well to go back, have a chat to some of the ones that we've already featured, and Raiders of the Lost Laughs, of course, presented by the Durham Review. They've been on here for a wee while, and they're going all the way through to the 30th of August. And, well, one of them's here now. Hello.
Hello.
Your name?
I'm Isaac.
Isaac, yes. How's it all going? Because you've been here since the 6th.
Yeah, it's been very busy. We had our day off yesterday, so it's been sort of getting back into the flyering.
Recharge the batteries.
Recharge the batteries, yeah. Although I don't think it was. I think it just showed us what the other side was like when in that 11 till 1 slot when we're usually flyering. But yeah, it's recharged the batteries a little bit. It's nice, but it's good to be back out and sort of back on doing stuff. And it's sort of on the second half of our slot now, so it's really good.
All the hard graft, the leafleting, is it paying off?
Yeah, I have to say it really works, and we find that like the audiences really reflect what we get out here. Like, as in, like, if it's a day where people are more grumpy and like don't want to take flyers and whatever, then we will often get a like smaller audience and an audience that laugh less. And then you find on the days where people are really happy to take them, we get really big audiences, and they love what we're doing and they love the comedy. So the flyering does really work.
And you're halfway through the run. It's going really well. It's a sketch comedy show. Remind people that it's at the Cowgate, Underbelly, 2:30. Right the way through to the 30th of August. And let's not forget, Derek Award winner for Best Sketch Show last year.
Indeed, yeah. No, I can't take credit for that because I wasn't here last year.
But the legacy's there.
Goes on well, and 4 of the members were still here from last year who won that, and then they are the ones who auditioned us and made the new troupe this year. So, and I think, well, I mean, we'd all say that we think we've even gone further than we were last year. So hopefully we've been better than when we won the Derek Award.
Well, nice to talk to you again, and we will no doubt bump into you before the 30th.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. See ya.
Dead Wrong, written by Jamie Doyle. Now, Jamie's around flyering somewhere at the bottom of the Royal Mile. We might try and bump into her later. But we have the other actor here, and your name is?
My name is Mario Adrion.
And how are you enjoying this experience at the Fringe?
Oh, well, I'm loving it. I mean, I've been to Fringe a few times as a director. This is my first time as an actor. And it's so wonderful, the community here, the culture here, the art. It's all really fantastic.
You only started yesterday. How did it go?
Oh, it went fantastic. We've had a really wonderful audience. Some really good reception from people. Hopefully it will get bigger and better from here,
And you'd be apprehensive, of course, because there are 3,600 shows around about that. You've got to cut through all that and get your show promoted. What have you done so far?
Well, we've just been flying, talking to people, connecting with people, going to other shows. I feel like, 75% of the people here are performers, so you go and see their shows, they come and see ours, and just building that community and leaning on that community,
So it's called Dead Wrong. Tell us what the show's about.
Well, the show is about 2 best friends who may or may not have murdered someone, and how this potential murder kind of fractures their friendship and uncovers the manipulation that goes on between the two.
And it's at the Space XXX, which is venue 38 at Hill Place, all the way through to the 29th at 2:05. So from Rio, we have the director of this play now, and this is?
This is Gray.
So tell us how you got involved with this one.
So I was doing a scratch night, and I was asked to direct a piece. It ended up being a short segment of this piece. Then I did a couple of workshops. There was a couple of other directors that applied for it, but I got on really well with the writer and the performer in it, Jamie. And they asked me to be part of the show, and then from that point on I've been directing it. I kind of have my own character building style. I'm very much a character focused director, which they really enjoyed for the piece because it's very much dialogue central and very important on watching their relationships develop and kind of disperse. So that's how I got involved, and we've just been doing rehearsals since. We had our preview up in London, which went really well. We got 4 stars from the youngish perspective, and we're just here trying to get people to come and see our show.
4-star is great.
I mean, 4 stars means there's room for improvement, and if you're a creative and you don't have room to improve, then you're not really creating real art.
Yeah,
If I get 5 stars, I'll be very happy and won't complain.
But it's all going very, very well. As
Yeah.
I say, once again, it's at venue 38, Hill Place, the Space XXX, 2:05 every day, all the way through to the 29th. Nice to talk to you.
It's so lovely to talk to you. Have a lovely day.
Izzy is with me now. This is Operation Market Garden, a verbatim play by Izzy Lane. It's you.
No, I'm the director. Izzy Lane is the writer. We've got
We've got two
Izzies. We're an all-female prod team.
I can't handle this.
It's too many Izzies.
Right, so you're Izzy Lane. Who's the other Izzy?
I'm Izzy Driscoll. Izzy Lane is flyering over there. We could go and find her if you would like. But she's the writer, and it was her great-grandfather served at the Battle of Arnhem in 1944. And as part of Operation Market Garden, he was a paratrooper, and he was captured at Arnhem and held in a Nazi prisoner of war camp for almost a year. And he kept a diary while he was there, and this diary we've turned verbatim into the dialogue of the play. So about 90% of the dialogue is from his private papers. So it's the exact story that happened. It's very poignant, it's very moving, and yeah, we'd love to have people come.
Yeah, very personal for the other Izzy as well.
Yes, definitely. It's been a very sort of emotional journey for her, sort of rediscovering her great-grandfather's papers, and I've been very lucky to be able to sort of bring it together. And there's the other Izzy
And
now.
here's the other Izzy.
Hello.
Every time people see a microphone, they just have to come towards it. So we've got two Izzies who are really busy.
We do.
And you're the writer of this, and it's a really personal thing for you. It must be really emotional to see it on stage.
It is. I'm in it as well. I play my great-grandmother.
My goodness, you must be welling up every day.
I am, absolutely. I'm on stage, like, fighting back tears every single time. It's an honour to work with such a talented cast and crew, and the chance to bring it to Fringe is absolutely insane.
And it was opening night on Monday. How did it go?
It went fantastically. We almost sold out. We had a fantastic number of people in. We even had Al Murray, the comedian, in, who said it was his favourite World War II play of Fringe.
That's fantastic, and you've got to get him on the posters now, haven't you?
Well, we're up on his Instagram, and he's reviewed us, so yeah.
And that really gives you a boost, doesn't it, when you get people like that coming in and out of the blue, because you wouldn't expect that would that be his thing.
Well, we ran into him on the street on Monday afternoon. I was flyering here, and we talked to him for about 15 minutes. We had a really good chat about Arnhem, and he said he'd written a book about it, and yeah, he really enjoyed the play.
Who would have known that he had a connection like this?
Yeah, and I mean, making those connections is the most important thing at Fringe. Honestly, I've spoken to such incredible people, just doing like street interviews and stuff, and we're just hoping that we can get people to come in and honour the legacy of Nev and all the men that fought alongside him.
Your family must be so proud of you.
They are. They really are.
Are they here at the Fringe?
My mum is coming up for next week, and she's got a ticket to every single night.
And it's at the venue 53, Nicholson Street, the Space Surgeons Hall. Goes all the way through to the 29th. It's on at a good time as well, 7:25. Operation Market Garden. Every man's war, one man's words. You've got a big smile on your face. It's going well, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it really is. And I just hope it continues for the rest of Fringe.
What's next for Izzy? This Izzy, of course.
I'm actually off to the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama to do a Masters in Musical Theatre and continue writing and directing in Cardiff for the next year.
Fantastic. And what about you, the other Izzy? That was Izzy Lane. This is Izzy
Driscoll.
Izzy Driscoll.
I'd love to continue directing and finding new things to do, and yeah, we'll keep moving forward.
It must be a privilege to work with this young lady.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we've got to know each other really well over the last. We've done 2 runs of this now, so over the last sort of year, and yeah, I'd love to take it further forward.
And what is going to happen with this play? Because obviously this is a stepping stone.
Yes, so currently in the process of pitching to a couple of different venues across Cardiff and Wales in general. Fingers crossed we'll be able to take it on tour. We're having it filmed and we're going to do an online release. So tickets will go up on social media platforms after the Fringe run is over. So if anyone is at home and can't come and watch us but wants to see the show, please look out for that. It'll be up soon. Yeah, we're hoping to keep it going.
So once again, it's Operation Market Garden, a really personal but fantastic play at venue 53, Nicholson Street, the Space Surgeons Hall, on till the 29th, and 7:25 is the time. Best of luck, ladies.
Thank you
very
so much.
Thanks.
Well, we're almost through today's walk, but I stopped at the bus stop, actually. Absolute Bus Stops of Northern Europe and Beyond is the name of it, because we've got a bit of a success story here from Jim Judges, who presents it. Jim, first of all, you are actually going to end on the 15th. So popular, sell out, you're going on to the 22nd.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I've had a great Fringe. I've been coming to the Fringe for many years. It's not always like this, but this year the stars have aligned. The eclipse must have helped, because here I am. They asked me to stay for another week after selling out last week, and I've had some great reviews, having lots of fun, but I've still got some seats. I'm here till Saturday.
5 stars from the Scotsman as well. Not many people get that.
No, thank you, the Scotsman. Thank you, Kate Copstick. She's obviously on the same daft wavelength I am as far as comedy is concerned. It's light, it's ideal for the afternoon, and not too challenging. It's as silly as it sounds, but I've been getting great feedback, and if anybody's interested, Absolute Bus Stops of Northern Europe and Beyond, it's on at the Paradise Green venue, and I've moved into a slightly larger room just opposite the the Harry Potter cafe, the elephant one there.
Yes, in Augustine's, isn't it? Venue 152, 150 every day till the 22nd. So tell us in a nutshell what it's all about.
Yeah, it's actually celebrating the often overlooked bus stops, shelters, and how they differ, but also how we can find inner beauty, magic and mystery in simple things that we often take for granted. And I realise that travelling by bus isn't always fun. I realise waiting at a bus stop isn't always fun, but I've tried to flip it on its head and find some joy and magic and comedy in there, and I think it seems to be working.
I was going to say, because a lot of people would probably look at the title and think, well, who on earth is going to come to that? And you've sold out.
I sold out last week. I've got tickets for the bigger room this week, and certainly Thursday, Friday. It would be great to see people if they can get there. But I've been blown away, and thanks to everyone here at the Fringe. Thanks to Edinburgh for letting us borrow your city. I promise to leave it tidy. And next time you're at a bus stop, remember, Absolute Bus Stops.
Jim, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Eve Young is with me now. It's Always Sunny on Olympus, which is a play by Henry Theakston and Aaron Khachaturian. We did actually meet Aaron before, and he did speak to us. So it's nice to come back. How's it going?
Oh, it's going so well. We've sold out 3 of our shows. We've got another one today. It's actually Aaron's birthday today, and he's playing Zeus, so that's very fitting. We've had just a 4-star review that we got this morning, which is fantastic, and it's been so much fun. I'm having a blast playing Athena with everyone. It's been so good, yeah.
So many people are reporting sellouts, and it's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it was something that we weren't prepared for, actually. When we sold out last Tuesday for the first time, we were like, oh my gosh, that's insane. Especially because there's such amazing acts going on at the Fringe, and there's so many going on, and the fact that people want to come to ours is such an honour.
And it's venue 39 at Radisson Blu, a place we know very well, of course. The space on the mile, 145 all the way through to the 29th, and it's Always Sunny on Olympus. Thanks for talking to us.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
So there we are. That's another walk completed on the Royal Mile, and there'll be another one tomorrow.
On the far-off Orkney Island, 7 miles from Kirkwell town, a babe was christened Isobel with bonny eyes of brown. A babe was christened Isobel, who'll take her fate in hand, the first ever lass from Britain to set foot in Rupert's land. Lonely Isobel was pining for her brother far away. George adventured off in Rupert's land, signed on with the Hudson Bay. Oh, the lass survived the smallpox, but was scarred by fever's wrath. With no fortune, land her sweetheart, she turned to adventure's path. Oh, hearken the ballad of Isobel Gunn, the first lass come over the sea, with the garb of a boy and her dad's borrowed name. Throughout Rupert's land she wandered free, and for £8 a year did the work of a man. They said John toiled willing and well. Oh, the first broken heart on the wild Hudson Bay was in the breast of the last Isobel. Drams harbor docked the Prince of Wales on a cloudy afternoon to take on a crew of Orkney men sailing at the close of June. Taking on a crew of Orkneys and one last chest tightly bound, signed aboard as young John Frobisher as the ship passed through Hay Sound. John was brave and John was willing and as strong as any man, hauling furs and fresh provisions to the trading posts across the land. Her canoe took her 2,000 miles under cold star-laden sky, when John Scarth, who traveled with her, took her honor there one night. Isobel Gunn, the first lass come over the sea, with the garb of a boy and her dad's borrowed name. Throughout Rupert's land she wandered free, and for £8 a year did the work of a man. They said John toiled willing and well. Oh, the first broken heart on the wild Hudson Bay was in the breast of the lass Isobel. At the rival post in Pembina, poor young John one day appeared, crying out, "I beg for shelter, sir," her voice a trembling and afeared. To the chief she begged for shelter on that cold December morn. From that bold young girl adventurer a tiny babe was born. Poor young Isobel and baby James shipped back to Orkney in disgrace. In a land where men live freely, a Scottish woman has no place. She lived on alone for 60 years as she knit her life away. Now she sleeps in Warpath Kirkyard in an unmarked pauper's grave. Oh, hearken the ballad of Isobel Gunn, the first lass come over the sea, with the garb of a boy and her dad's borrowed name. Throughout Rupert's land she wandered free, and for £8 a year did the work of a man. They said John toiled willing and well. Oh, the first broken heart on the wild Hudson Bay was in the breast of the lass Isobel. Oh, the first broken heart on the wild Hudson Bay was in the breast of the lass Isobel.
Melanie Gall and the title track from her show The Ballad of Isobel Gunn, appearing here at the Edinburgh Fringe up to the 29th, except for the 23rd at the Annex at the Space Symposium Hall. After the break, we brace for impact as Simon Walton is joined by an all-lady barbershop quartet.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
Two sisters, one man, a history neither of them fully understands. Becca, a painter, moves into architect Charlie's flat, and the two quickly form a bond far deeper than either expected. But when miscommunication leaves their relationship unresolved, Becca's older sister Emily returns from traveling and unexpectedly falls for Charlie, unaware of everything that came before. As feelings collide and buried truths begin to surface, three lives become dangerously intertwined. A story of love, timing, sisterhood, and what happens when nobody says what they really mean. Almost everything is on at Bra Venues. Grand Lodge Venue 7 at 12 noon every day until August the 30th, except for the 26th. Tickets from edfringe.com.
We're here at the Radisson Blu Hotel, Edinburgh city centre, where the beds are comfy, the breakfasts are legendary, and the Fringe is literally downstairs. Home to the space on the mile, you'll find 7 theatres buzzing with performances all day, every day. So if you're looking for the perfect base for the festival, you've just found it.
Florence Nightingale, you've heard of her, but have you heard of Betsy Cadwallader? The globe-trotting, fearless, feisty Welshwoman who defied Miss Nightingale to become one of the first frontline war nurses at the age of 65. Her story theatre company from Newport, South Wales brings Betsy to Edinburgh Festival Fringe, a heartwarming, funny and inventive two-woman play that restores a forgotten Welsh working-class heroine to her rightful place in history. Catch it at the Space at Surgeons Hall, 24th to 29th of August at 1:45 p.m. Suitable for children over 12. Tickets available from the Space box office.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Your printing is made easy at the Copy and Print Shop. We specialise in rapid printing services, leaflets, posters, brochures, banners, business cards and more. Collect your order at our Glasgow print shop or have it delivered wherever you are. Find out more at thecopyandprintshop.com.
Print it, copy it at the copyandprintshop.com.
Black Blues Brothers, Let's Twist Again. Fringe favourites, the Black Blues Brothers are back. Expect a rock and roll jukebox, a train station and lots of acrobatics. Every day from August 5th to August 31st at 5 p.m. at McEwen Hall, Bristow Square. Tickets available at edfringe.com.
Bringing the festival to you, Fringe Radio.
I'm out on the street with Brace for Impact. Now this is a show which involves a barbershop quartet, but there's a couple of things which are different about that right now. First of all, these barbers are all ladies, and there's 3 of them with me: Emily, Amelia and Moritz. Emily, can I turn to you first and ask just what is Brace for Impact all about?
Well, Brace for Impact is a barbershop show performed by the whole choir and quartets, and we perform a variety of music from musicals, Disney, everyday songs like Mr. Blue Sky, although it's not very blue skies in Edinburgh at the moment. And there is a lot of quite poor jokes which will have you laughing, maybe from pain.
Well, never mind about the grey skies. Let's look on the bright side. I don't know if you do, Mr. Brightside, but I'll turn to Amelia and say, when you're not a barbershop quartet, what are you doing for the rest of the year?
I'm a music student at Durham University, so we're all from Durham University and we all study different degrees. We have a surprising number of STEM students in our choir, so that's really fun. But yeah, and we get together every Wednesday after our lectures and we sing together. It's really fun.
Amelia, I understand that you're the musical director
Yes.
for the show. What does that entail?
So it involves conducting the choir, it involves being maybe a bit too nitpicky at times in rehearsals. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And it involves making arrangements and sometimes composing the choir and conducting.
All right, listen, I'll turn to Moritz, if I may. Moritz, is Amelia really that picky?
No, I think Amelia is just the perfect right amount of picky. I was the musical director last year and so handed it over to her this year, and she's been like amazing and is exactly what we've needed for the choir. Perfect amount of nitpicky that we're not like, oh, we hate you, Amelia, but we are like, oh yes, we're sounding much better than we were before.
Emily, is this the case? Do you all take turn about it being director of the show?
No, so this is my first year in the choir, and
So you're the rookie.
Yes, I am. I fear if someone turned to me and told me to MD the choir, I'd probably run away and cry. It seems like such an intense job, and they are so fabulous at music and understanding music theory and how things go together and everything, that it is not a light job that I think anyone could take on. They're very talented to be able to do it.
Amelia, I'll turn back to you because Emily told us earlier that you do a vast repertoire. How do you go about choosing that, and how have the audiences been reacting to that?
Yeah, so I try to do like a large variety of things. We do like some Disney songs because they're very popular, some musical songs mainly from like older musicals because they suit our vibe more, and we also do a few barbershop classics and some jazz stuff, so like anything that fits. I try to make a balance of things that fit in the barbershop repertoire but also like something for everybody to enjoy, and there's lots of faster stuff, lots of slower stuff, really something for everyone.
I'm loving the boater hats that you're all sporting, which are really nice. Now you're in venue 38, which is the Space Triplex on Hill Place. Moritz, have you got it kitted out like a barbershop?
We do not, no. It's a nice little black box theatre that we've been in for the past couple of years, and it suits us just nicely. We're quite simple in the sense that we just have a couple of lights, one microphone just to slightly amplify everyone, especially in quartet, and we just sing.
How have the audiences been reacting to you? Have they been joining in?
Do you know, we did have a couple of people join in yesterday, which was, someone tried to join in on the bass line of our Isn't She Lovely, which was quite silly, but a little bit. But people do seem to generally be vibing to some of the songs, which is exactly what we want.
Moritz, thank you very much indeed. What I've heard from you is frankly astonishing. Do you think I could ask you, all three of you, to just give us a couple of lines just to play out of our interview? Just in your own time.
Even now I feel its heat upon my skin, a life of passion that pulls me from a life I begin. There must be somewhere I can be. Astonishing, I'll find my way. I'll find it far away.
And you can see Brace for Impact at Big at the Space XXX to the 23rd.
I'll be the reason you choose to leave me. I'll be alright without you at night. You'll find another approved by your mother. I'll watch discreetly, pretending it's easy to see. And though we promised our friendship forever, I know things change, I know the pain. Watching the walls you put up around me, feeling the distance, though friendship surrounds me again. I'll find a way without you, Natalie. I'll find a way to keep my loving safe. Say I love you even though I know that you no longer feel that way. And through the seasons and through the hours, I look to the moon, thinking of you. Some of life's treasures live on forever, subtle reminders of when life was kinder to you. I'll find a way without you, Natalie. I'll find a way to keep my loving safe. I'll find a way to get up every day and say I love you
Yes, we do like Brian Enge very much in the Michael Bublé camp, and a song called I'll Find a Way. And if you enjoyed that, you'll want to see him live along with his jazz trio at the Banquet Hall at WU Venue 396 until the 23rd. Well, finally today, when the end of days is upon us, you could always turn to philosophy. Not that it'll do you any good. If there's one thing that you won't need when civilization has collapsed upon itself, it's a volume from the academic canon of the likes of Konstantin Stanislanvski. That's why Living Room Productions have taken a more practical and pragmatic approach, swapping Mencius for a machete. But Simon Walton did not come to blows with Katie from the ensemble.
Can't Save Me from the Apocalypse, Stanislanvski. I'm not with Stanislanvski, I'm with Kate, who's part of the production. Kate, can you tell me just a little bit more about what this is all about?
Absolutely. So it's 5 theatre camp counsellors who, on the final day of camp, the apocalypse happens. So it's kind of them trying to figure out how to not only survive in this new apocalypse, but they're not very set up for survival. As you know, you see a lot of dystopian shows and theatres where these dystopian survival apocalypses are for people who are very set up for it. They're athletic, they know what they're doing. What about us theatre kids who have no survival skills and we don't know what we're doing? So 5 theatre camp counsellors on the last day of camp decide to stay and look after 38 tweens, but it's all about friendship and realising that not only do they have to now live in this new reality, but their dreams are long gone.
Now this has hit a chord with the Edinburgh public, who frankly think of the Fringe and the festival as the apocalypse, because I understand that there isn't a seat to be had.
Exactly, yeah, we've sold out every day so far, so we've had 12 sellout shows, which has been absolutely amazing, and we're here until Saturday, so we've got 4 shows left, so we'd love to kind of fill it out, get everyone in so that we can finish this show on such a high.
Now I don't want you to give away the plot, but I'm guessing 5 players, all from the same background, the apocalypse. You say you don't have any skills, but I'm thinking every one of you must have a skill which gets demonstrated throughout the production.
Well, we've got one lighting technician who is definitely the kind of, leader of the camp, and this woman very much kind of leads the troops. But I would say my character, Elizabeth, is probably the least set up for survival. Everyone else is kind of trying to figure it out. I'm running around trying to put on Into the Woods and trying to still make a musical happen during the apocalypse. So you can tell that my character is definitely not someone that's going to contribute towards this show.
Now, Kate, you're on at the Greenside at George Street, and frankly, just before the festival, you may know this, the apocalypse virtually hit George Street because there was that huge fire on Princes Street, which meant that Edinburgh's main thoroughfare was closed, and there was talk of diverting all the traffic onto George Street, which would have wiped out all the festival events in George Street. We managed to avoid that. How are you going to manage to avoid the apocalypse?
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, I've been chatting to some people asking what's something they would bring in the apocalypse, and we've had a very, very varied answers. Someone said a machete, which was very, practical. But how am I going to survive the apocalypse? I mean, it kind of feels like the Edinburgh Fringe has been a crazy experience, something that everyone says, go out, have fun, enjoy the shows, but also you do have to take care of yourself. So we've been finding that balance of seeing the shows we want to see whilst also trying to go in and not go crazy, have a good sleep and stay well fed.
Just one final question for you, Kate. You've been through it all now with this production. Do you think this really has prepared you for when Judgment Day comes?
Definitely. I feel like the response we've had to the show has been so overwhelming. We've been very kind of active on socials. The 5 of us girls have been kind of showing our days and the lives, and people have been coming up to us saying, we've seen you online, and it's been so great to see that people are really engaged in this show. And it's, it's a fun, silly show, but it's got a lot of heart. So we're really glad that it's resonated with so many people.
Kate, if this interview doesn't go out at the end of the programme, when there's nothing else to come after it, then my producer is really missing a trick. Thanks so much indeed. That's Stanislanvski's Can't Save Me from the Apocalypse at Greenside at George Street. That's venue 236 from now until the end of time. Well, actually until the 22nd of August. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, it was indeed inevitable that we would end with that piece for today. Performing at the Ivy Studio at Greenside on George Street, venue 236 at 3:05 until the 22nd of August. You can see Stanislanvski Can't Save Me from the Apocalypse, but very limited tickets left. And that wraps up the programme for today. We'll be back on Fringe Radio again tomorrow. Thanks for listening, and from me, Stuart Cameron, and the team, bye for now.